Hey, all you fantasy football managers. Jacob Camenker of USA Today Sports here to break down the Week 16 waiver wire for those of you still lucky enough to be alive in the fantasy football playoffs. Now, we're dealing with a lot of key injuries as the season goes down to the stretch. Most notably, Patrick Mahomes will be out for the rest of the season after tearing his ACL. So we'll take a look at a couple quarterback options that can help you out, as well as a couple of other potential flex plays for the week. We'll start with the best quarterback option who might be available in your league. That would be CJ Stroud from the Texans. Stroud seems to be hitting his stride. He threw for 260 yards and 3 touchdowns in the Texans' 40-20 win over the Cardinals in Week 15. And that's been continuing a trend of what we've seen from the Texans offense, just starting to perform better, get in more of a rhythm as they make a playoff push. Stroud is playing the Raiders in Week 16, so that easy matchup could make Stroud a top 10 fantasy quarterback for the week. Another member of the Texans to keep an eye on is Jawar Jordan, their running back, who ended up replacing Woody Marks and Nick Chubb in last week's game. Marks went down with an ankle injury and Chubb was out with a rib problem, so if both of those guys are out again, Jordan could end up getting a bulk of the workload with Dario Gunbowale working in as more of a receiving back. Jawar Jordan had 15 carries for 101 yards against the Cardinals, so against a weak Raiders defense, he could put up similar numbers in that matchup. Another running back to keep an eye on is Michael Carter from the Cardinals. Cardinals are another team that lost the starting running back to an injury. Bam Knight went down with an ankle problem against the Texans. We don't know if he's going to play this week, but if he doesn't, Carter will handle a bulk of the workload at running back. He logged 14 carries for 56 yards against the tough Texans defense and also added 4 catches for 38 yards through the air. That's going to make him an intriguing PPR flex based on volume alone if he ends up being the lead back this week against the Falcons. Shifting to the other side of the ball, we're going to look at a receiver in Jalen Coker from the Panthers. Coker has posted back-to-back games with at least 4 catches, 60 yards, and a touchdown, and he's shown good chemistry with Bryce Young dating back to last season. He's got a nice matchup in Week 16 against the leaky Buccaneers secondary, so Coker might be able to find the end zone for a third straight game, which would make him a good flex play, obviously. And finally, if you're really desperate at quarterback, you might have to look at a guy like Phillip Rivers from the Indianapolis Colts. It's probably more of a desperation play than anything else, but he did log a touchdown and 120 yards against the stalwart Seattle defense. He's not going to push the ball downfield, but if he can just get the ball into the hands of these Colts playmakers against the 49ers, he might have a chance to log multiple scores because the 49ers have allowed multiple passing touchdowns in 5 of their last 7 games. So we'll see if he can develop better chemistry with Michael Pittman Jr., Josh Downs, and of course, Jonathan Taylor. So if you're in a pinch at quarterback, feel free to ride with Rivers and see if the 44-year-old can lead you to a fantasy championship.